Hello folks, back at Tinsley Park Shooting Club. It's quite a cold morning again. Time now is 20 past 8 in the morning. It is around freezing. What I've come up to test today is a new gadget I've got off of the internet. It's an Anemometer designed to check the wind speeds. This particular one costs less than £9 delivered, so it's definitely not the Kestrel, but for a sub 12 foot-pound rifle you don't really need it. All this will do for you, it'll tell you the wind speed, the temperature, so you'll get some idea of what the wind's doing. If you use it on a regular basis at different ranges, different wind speeds, if you've got a fixed scope zeroed in, what it can do when it is windy is aim off, and by getting used to knowing how fast the wind's blowing on this, you know how far to hold off. So say it's blowing at 5 miles an hour, let's say 30 yards, and it's half a mil dot to the left on a regular basis, you'll know that when it's blowing like that on this, when it is a specific crosswind, you'll know it'll work okay. So you've got to know and work out how much drift it's going to be, but it's worthwhile having. Like I say, this particular one, it's got the temperature on it as well, so you get your temperature guide and the speed guide. Now today the wind's blowing from that direction, and over there we've got the big wind turbine, and we normally go by that and the range flag we've got, but being in the Area Wash Valley here, they put that there for a reason, and that's because it's usually windy. At the moment it seems pretty still. Let's see, so the readings I've got on this now, where it's 5.2 degrees centigrade, and believe it or not, where I'm standing now there's no wind at all. It's not blowing the actual turbine round on it. So at this level, where the bank is and the direction the wind's blowing, we've got no wind at all. Don't know if you can see that. So it's got your temperature on and the wind speed. Now what this will do, it will also give you the maximum wind, minimum wind and current wind readings. It's got a Beaufort scale on it as well. So I think it was less than £9, £8.60 or something like that, but I will post the actual link and the price. I think I got it off eBay. For that price you can't go wrong, you need one. So Mark Homer, this is a bit of extra expense you're going to have to spend, because I know you've been buying a lot of stuff. Well, that's another good gadget to get in anybody's little gun bag really. It's got quite a good lanyard on it, so you can wear it all the time. Just put it around your neck and that's it. So then I'll do a more in-depth analysis on this, on how it works, but for the time being, that's the Anemometer from eBay. Okay then folks, as you can see, I have the BSA R10 Mark II rifle. I've got a target set up at 50 yards, being as there's no wind, and we'll see how it's doing. I'll be using Bisley Magnums. They hold well, long range and in the wind. Which they weigh 10.65 grades, so they are heavier than average at around 8.4, but they do well down here because normally we do get quite strong wind, and that's makes a big difference. I've got 10 shots, got a target set up as you'll see. There's a little can on top. I'll take a shot at that to knock it off, and then I'll go 9 shots at the target. Okay, that's pretty cold. That's 50 yards. That should wear that one. Here we go. That's it. Right, so that's a pretty tight group there. Black circles an inch, so probably getting around half an inch group, or just over at 50 yards. Wouldn't normally be able to do that. Like I say, it's usually windy down here, but I'm pretty impressed with that at 50. So this is not a standard rifle. It's been tuned by Phil Crampton of the Ratworks. It's got a tension regulator in it, I believe. So I think that's what he fits in them nowadays. He used to fit Robert Lane, but he tends to go with tensioning. And if ever you want a rifle tuning, lots of lads down the club have had him tuned by Phil. This particular rifle did belong to John Kemp, and he more or less took it to Phil as soon as he bought it. And he was pretty pleased with it. So, I mean, the R10 is more or less the top of the range in the BSAs. You get plenty of shots. It's just a bottle. So I filled it up with my compressor yesterday. It's 230 bar. And when you got a bottle on like this, I don't need to bring a tank with me because there's enough in this to last me what I'll be doing down here. I'm not really tested to see how many shots I can get from it, but I dare say it's going to be 180 to 200. It should be consistent as well. Okay then, same target, a bit lower down. See if I can improve. Well, that's dropped off a bit. Change my point of aim. That's it. Now it's blown it to the right a bit now. But as you can see, it's grouping. So that's it. Right then, it's the BSA R10 Mark II at 50 yards using the Bisley Magnums. I'll now use the Daystate and see if they group any better or the same. I think they weigh about 10.3 and they are the rebrands, so the latest ones basically. So part 2 coming up. There we go, there's a target. Main group, you can see in the greens, a couple dropped off. Same down there. 50 yards, not bad. Pleased with that. Looking down range. Now, as I was coming up, the actual anemometer was actually going about 2.5 miles an hour. It stopped again now. There we go. No wind at the moment, so that's good for testing the shots. Okay, the next one up is the squirrel target. Same again, 50 yards. Okay then, back down at the business end, using the Daystate Sovereign Heavies. Different pellet though. Pulled that one. I'm aiming off to the left edge of this one at 9 o'clock. I'm still blowing it right across. That's it. Not as tight as the business. I'm aiming for the 11 o'clock position on the black. bad group. Okay, that's okay, that one. Anywhere to all those and everything. Right, I'll do another magazine on that. Still got one left. Shot on, obviously not. Come down to test the anemometer. Not much wind to test it in today, but at least I'm benefiting on my shooting anyway. Okay. That's done. Okay, and that's it. It's a lot easier when you've got the splash target, so you can see where you're hitting. Yeah. I think if it was a squirrel, it'd be a dead squirrel anyway. Right. Do a bit of reactive shooting at 15. That'll be it. Back at the 50 yards again. So trying to sort out where there was grouping. The first shot was up there, so I knew it was going higher than the Bisleys. So I brought it a mil dot up, but it's still pushing it that way. Whether that's a twist in the rifle that pushes that particular pellet to the right, I don't know. So like I say, there's not much wind up here. After I'd done that group, more or less near my zero, I was aiming about there, but still again going across, and the last one was up here. So yeah, not bad really at 50 yards. So what we got here, some tins and things. I'll stick my scope camera on you, see if you can see them coming up to them in slow-mo. Okay then folks, I'm back home now with the anemometer. I'll tell you a bit about it. So, it's classed as an air velocity and temperature measurement, and it reads the maximum, average and current velocity measurement. Temperature is centigrade or Fahrenheit units. 5 units of air velocity, and they are meters per second, kilometers per hour, feet per minute, knots and miles per hour. We've also got the Beaufort scale, backlight display. You can set it manual or auto power shut off. It's got a wind chill indication and a low battery indicator. Now to turn it on, you press the actual mode button, and you press that for 2 seconds and it turns the unit on. The LCD lights up, as you can see, and you've got the air velocity, temperature and battery icon, the backlight, and the backlight lasts for 12 seconds and it switches off. If you press the mode button, you can see it's lit up again. If you keep your finger on it for 3 seconds, change to meters per second, and it starts to blink. Press the set button, and that should keep it. So we'll go on that again. Press that set button, so it's meters per second at the moment. So press that for 3 again. We'll go meters, that's kilometers per hour, feet per minute, knots and miles per hour, and that's what I'll keep it on. To confirm, you press the mode and that sets it on. It's miles per hour, as you can see. Hang on, let's blow it, see if we can get any hang on. Alright. Probably because it's not spinning round. A setting will be stored when turned off the unit, but if you change the battery, the setting will go back to the factory preset. Unit of air velocity is meters per second, kilometers per hour, feet per minute, knots and miles per hour. Measuring mode, current air velocity, maximum air velocity and average air velocity. 21 degrees centigrade in here. Okay, so when the wind vane, the impeller, moves, the LCD will instantly display wind speed, temperature and Beaufort scale. When temperature is below 0 centigrade, a chill factor reading will come on. Turning off the unit, you press the mode and the set button at the same time. That switches it off. Auto power shut off. The unit will be shut off if it's not been used in 14 minutes. And obviously, if you need to change the batteries, the light will actually tell you there. There's the actual battery marker. So that's basically it. But it comes with all the instructions anyway, which are just there. But not a bad little thing to have in your toolkit really for your gun. £8, less than £8.40 delivered. Why not? So that is the anemometer. I'll just have to get used to it now. It would well worth the buy, I think. Okay then, as you can see, I've got the centigrade on at the moment. or to change to Fahrenheit, if you turn it over, take the cover off, there's a little pinhole there. There we go. Just change to Fahrenheit and centigrade. There's a hole at the back there, just below the battery compartment. So that's how you change the temperature. And as a final piece, as you can see, it's in a little yellow protective case. I'll just turn it off. This does come off like that. And then on the back, if you've got a screwdriver or whatever, or a key, coin, you turn that and that's where your battery goes in. And it is a CR2032 battery. So you can get them from most supermarkets. I can see the Beaufort scale going up there. I want to blow it. Okay then, there we go. Thanks for watching.